MLB futures game around the corner. The guy we're going to talk about first, guess what? He's going to be participating in that. So, we're not just blowing smoke here. This guy is good for a reason. Welcome to Buzz in the Box. We have a Buzzline edition episode for you this beautiful Thursday afternoon. 3 prospects in different levels of the minor leagues. We're actually going to stick with 2 in high A today and 1 in double A. We're going to take a break from the triple A today just because I switched somebody out. I kind of wanted to highlight somebody first. Once I found out that we're also participating in the MLB futures game, so kind of got us even more excited about talking about 19-year-old Josiah Hartshorn. I think I'm saying that right. In the Cubs organization, wanted to give him a shout out here, especially for making that futures game that's coming up. 37 games at high A South Bend for the Cubs organization, slashing 289, 374, 563. 10 home runs and 4 stolen bases, so he's already got double-digit home runs. He's already mixing in a few swipes of some bags. Now, he has cooled off a little bit, but he's still looking mighty good. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Hartshorn, he actually had 2 hits and a walk, including a home run just a couple of days ago. So things are still looking up for Josiah Hartshorn, 19 years old, for high A South Bend in the Cubs organization. Look out for Josiah Hartshorn. He's looking like a pretty solid hitter, and doesn't look like he's going to be striking out a ton either. I feel like for dynasty points leagues, it's always good to have that to stabilize that floor. Moving on, we're going to move on to double A now. We have Rafe Perich, Perich. I think it's pronounced Perich or Perich, so apologize if I'm hitting a foul ball on that pronunciation. In the Texas Rangers organization, he is at double A Frisco, third baseman, 24 years old, so we'll keep an eye on that. He hit over 300 with a 1,000 OPS in 38 games in high A before being promoted, so him being 24 in double A, I know some people are really strict on the age at certain levels, but for me, especially in this production, doesn't matter. I don't care if he turns 25 by the end of this conversation, this video. So hitting over 300,000 OPS in 38 games at high A before being promoted, it was much deserved. But a better look at him now, because you don't want to be stuck in high A at 23, 24 years old too long. That's kind of when it gets a little dicey, especially, performing at that level, that it'll never be a problem on the other hand. So now we're starting to get a chance to see him play more against guys around his age group, guys that also deserve to be there, and get a better feel for him. 32 games in double A for Rafe Perich this year, slashing 331, 434, 653. So improvement in every part of the slash line after being promoted to double A. So that takes care of all the concerns for me. I think Rafe is safe. Let's go with that. As a matter of fact, 30 in those 32 games in double A, hitting 331. Love it. A very good sign. Not a huge sample size, but can't really get off to a better start to a promotion than just increasing every aspect of your game hitting wise. And if that's not enough to interest you, he also has 8 home runs and 21 walks in his 32 games since being promoted. So maybe a late bloomer by some people's standards, but I love what I'm seeing from Rafe Perich down in double A. We're going to go back down a quick second now as we're spending an extra minute. We're going to move back to high A. We have a 20-year-old shortstop for the Brewers organization for their high A Wisconsin affiliate. It is Eric Batanti, shortstop, big shortstop. But let's face it, at a 6'5", 218, and his hitting profile, I never assume this when we're doing this, because lot of the best players getting drafted, they'll be shortstops and infielders, but they'll move on to other positions because if you can play shortstop at a high level there, you can probably move on to second or third base, or even a lot of these guys move to center field without a problem if they have that speed. This isn't a speed guy. However, there's a couple stolen bases, but Eric Batanti, high A, Wisconsin, in the Brewers organization. Like I said, 6'5", 218, all that power. The guy was born to play first base with that build. I don't expect for him, but the day he's called up to the bigs, he will not be playing shortstop. That I'm pretty certain about. 6'5", 218, some power and size. Power hitting tall lefty, kind of like a Todd Helton kind of build. Not saying the skill is close to that or that it's going to be, but there is definitely big time left-handed power potential from this specimen right here. Eric Batanti has spent the entire season at high A, has the 20-year-old slashing 269, 397, 496. That's in 68 games, and he swatted a whopping 14 home runs and swiped 16 bags. Like I said, there's a little bit of speed going on. Not the fastest sprint speed, but the guy has a knack for it, and he hustles. That's for sure. 51 walks is amazing in that span, but you're gonna want to hold on. You're gonna want to hold on to your hats for this one. This is gonna get a little bit of rough. He has 103 strikeouts in 242 at bats. My goodness, this might be the worst strikeout rate we've talked about or for any player since the beginning of this program. Minor leagues, major leagues, or otherwise. But this is the Buzzline edition. We're gonna try to showcase some guys that are either making a name for themselves, coming out of nowhere in the minor leagues, or a lot of times this is just updating you on some of the bigger names and some guys that the people that are locked in here, or just have like a casual following. We're going to check in on like the big names that everybody knows. Not every guy we talk about is going to be like a diamond in the rough, as they say, or just like impressing us or myself specifically. Leo DeVries, Jesus Mates, Zahir Hope, some other guys last year like Ryan Waldschmidt and Connor Griffin and even like Wyatt Langford before that. We're going to highlight anyone in the minor leagues that is even worthy of even if they're just to be on your radar so you know about them for your dynasty leagues. It makes it all the worthwhile, and you're going to want these Buzzline edition episodes. Trust me, try to do them like once or twice a week. And honestly, and I'll try to tell you when there is somebody that I'm going to tell that is really, really like going out of his mind, I'll try to, if I'm confident in it, I'll try to flout out and say, hey, go get this guy right here, or your first year player draft coming up. Maybe you want to move up in the draft, move up a few slots, if you're in that type of league, because we like to specialize in deep dynasty points leagues. The one I use is on Fantrax, but we try to cover it all. I'll just flat out tell you, yeah, you're going to want to get this guy, or maybe you're trying to, maybe you have them already and you need to know to hold on to them, or you're making a playoff push. That's going to help you out quite a bit. But yeah, really rough in the strikeout department for Eric Batanti. Goodness gracious, that's a lot of strikeouts. I think that puts him at a 42% strikeout rate. Which is high as heck. He's still just 20 and in high A, so there is just enough time to turn it around. But man, if if I was doing this and he was in AAA, then I'd honestly say like, maybe hands off. This would just be a guy that would end up in possibly a platoon role somewhere for his career, for a power bat off the bench or something like that. So there's still, I still have plenty of belief in Eric Batanti. But if anybody in all of baseball needs to cut back on the strikeouts and you can only pick one hitter, that man, that's who I would pick. I mean, he had 19 home runs and 20 doubles in single A last year, so the power is there. But also last year, the strikeout rate in single A, the strikeout rate was 39%. So it has gone up slightly since the promotion to high A. This needs to be figured out quick before he finds himself in double A. He just has to find a way. Otherwise, that's just, he might end up a decent major leaguer, but it's gonna really limit his fantasy value, and that's at the forefront for these Buzzline edition videos. There you have it. Put in the books another Buzzline edition video where we highlight players through all different levels of the minor leagues for our dynasty leagues to keep an eye on, and just know that, hey, first year player draft rolls around and you want to make the steal of the draft and get a leg up. This is the episode to watch, and this is the place to be as we try to cover all aspects, not just Major League Baseball, but fantasy baseball as well. 3 guys throughout the minor leagues that we really like or strongly consider in that first year player draft, or just even to trade for, that can maybe help you acquire another major league bat to make that playoff push. Josiah Hartshorn, Rafe Perrick, and Eric Batanti. We try to do our Buzzline edition videos at least once or twice a week. So thanks again for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. You are not going to want to miss the next one and the next major league call-up, because they're always ready and waiting to turn your wildest dreams into a fantasy reality and get points for your team as soon as possible. Hey, some guys, you have guys like Gage Jump or somebody else that you I know some people that haven't even called him up yet and just waiting for him to mature and possibly saving it for like a beautiful trade package and just get a massive life-changing haul. So there's a couple of ways we can play these things, and that's why we're here. But do not be left out in the cold. Do not miss the next one, where we're going to talk about on our next episode. We're going to talk about our heat check, which is our certified dogs, and our buzzkill, who's hot, who's not, who's popped, who's flopped. But for today, you can put it in the books. We really appreciate everybody coming through on this Thursday afternoon with all the love and support. It means more than you know. For Buzz in the Box, I'm Mauro Bazzario. Thanks again for joining us on this Buzzline edition. We'll catch you next time.